AfterBuzzers, you do not want to miss this episode because we have a ton to talk about. So stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What they do, they smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place.
If you haven't heard this song before, look up the lyrics now. Woo. Oh my God, holy crap.
Cray cray.
This episode was unreal. This was ridiculous. We have so much to talk about. I'm your host, Paulina Aguilar, and welcome to the season finale of the challenge. Angela, tell them where they can find you.
My jaw is still on the floor. I cannot believe this. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Angela Struck. You can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck. Oh my gosh, what a tool!
Okay, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. We're gonna let's just get down to the nitty gritty of this whole episode of Johnny and Sarah. We both predicted that they would win, which they did. Now I had some reservations about what they were gonna do about the money. Go.
I mean, I predicted this. I mean, we saw it coming because of who he is. He is always such a jerk. He only looks out for himself. The only reason I thought maybe is because he gave her such a hard time about what she had done to him in the previous season when she sent him into an elimination and, you know, kind of screwed him over towards the end. But they were such a team together. I mean, I have never seen a team unite better to win. They were so evenly matched. They so needed each other to win. Like, I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe he did this to her.
I feel very bittersweet about this because I wanted to give Johnny the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't do it, but he was just so hurt by what Sarah did that he had to do it back at her. And you know what? I thought he was going to split it. Honestly, I was hoping for that.
Yeah, but sorry, go ahead.
No, but then had they all split it, I probably would have wished, dang, I wish someone would have taken all the money. Well, that actually happened.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, Johnny is nothing if he's not controversial. He loves to stir the pot and make things interesting. Everyone is saying in the live chat they would probably have kept the money. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even if they're friends on this show, they're not hanging out in real life. You know, they're friends for these few weeks a year, potentially. Maybe next season they're enemies. You know what I'm saying? So this is just kind of the way it goes. And as he said, this is life-changing money. You know,
it is, but I mean, Sarah had all these plans too to go to grad school.
Yeah,
and
but you know
not
what?
Be able to work.
As far as he's concerned, she took, you know, however much it was, 100. I agree. It's not the same because in that situation, they were teams against each other. Right. When Sarah sent him in, and as she said in the reunion that we were just watching, she gave him in that instance an opportunity to still compete and, you know, fight his way into the challenge. Whereas this, he literally lied to her and used her and abused her until the last second.
And I didn't see that coming. I'll give him credit as far as neither of them knew this twist until they got to the final. Fine. Yeah. That's fair. But to actually go through with that, you're still through the whole final. Good job, Sarah. You're the best partner I've ever had. I couldn't have done this without you.
Didn't you hear him say,
but she knew better, though. Yeah. She knew, like, in the back of my mind, he might do this to me because he's so hurt for what I did to him. No, it's not the same, but he's just so dirty.
Yeah, I mean, when he wouldn't give her a straight answer, she was looking for that straight answer. She was like, can we just can we say it to each other? Like, I will give it to you, you'll give it to me. He wouldn't give it to her. He was kind of like, don't think about that right now. Don't think it.
Right. Concentrate on the game.
Such a jerk.
I was secretly hoping that Sarah had the most points in the end so that she can make the decision. And the decision she would have picked was to split it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of thought she was going to win. The game changer was the eating and the stump, the sleeper stump. She must have done less on the sleeping.
Probably.
And I think, you know what, because it ended up that all the guys were the winners, I think that was a deciding thing, was the sleep, because it was 2 points. Right. And it seemed to me like a lot of the guys then, you know, must have taken, because it was pretty evenly matched otherwise, points-wise, I think.
But in the reunion, Johnny was not he was okay with it. He's able to go home and sleep at night with the decision that he made. I didn't see no guilty conscience. I didn't see anything because I have a big guilty conscience.
Yeah.
And I believe in karma. So somehow this is going to come back. Sarah's going to come back on another challenge on another season.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think she's done. And
I would come back with such vengeance and be like, I'm going to come back and kick his butt.
But she said it. I mean, I don't know how old she is. I'm assuming she's in her early 30s or so. She wants to focus on grad school. She wants to focus on her career. She wants to have children. She's married.
Right.
And I think after this horrific experience, I think she's done.
I don't think it's the way to go.
I hear you. I would want
it like that.
I know, but like, listen, this show is built to mess with people, and like, I think that she knows, like, if she came back, like, they're gonna put like Bananas, like maybe her partner again, or like some other kind of twist where she could just go crazy.
And we haven't seen this plot twist in any challenge before, which I absolutely love because look what it did.
They did it, I think, because of what the vengeance between the two of them was. I think they did this completely intentional because they got so chummy. It was almost annoying to watch, in my opinion. And I almost was getting mad at Sarah because I was like, Sarah, you know who this guy is. Don't let your guard down.
But I probably would have thought the same thing and had the same mentality as Sarah as far as like, okay, we've talked about this. We've worked this out. We've argued about it. We've cried together. We've worked so well together. You know, if this is behind you and behind us and our friendship is rebuilt, there shouldn't be a reason for you to do this. And in his speech, when he decided to take the money, he goes, you know, from my perspective, the past is dead. It's gone. Well, that's why, because you chose to take all the money. So in my head, I would have thought that he's going to split it with me and we're good.
But he's a snake, as Wit C just said. He's a snake, and he's always the person to do this.
Now, do you think that if he was paired with Vince, he would have done the same thing? Because in the reunion, he said
he would do it to his own mother.
Exactly. So, but they were partners last season. They looked out for each other. Do you think he would have done that to Vince?
I don't know. I think he probably would have done something to the same effect.
Because now that's some family drama when you go back home.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's interesting the other comments we're also getting, which is that this is kind of how everybody predicted it would go, except for Devin and Cheyenne in this miraculous challenge that they pulled off. But like the rest, like we kind of saw Vince or Bananas and Sarah in first place, and we saw Jenna and Vince going really far too. I honestly think overall this was not the most exciting challenge to watch, like this whole season. Like that's what some people are saying. Like it was just kind of like a weak one. Like I didn't feel like the actual final challenge I thought was really pretty good, and like we actually saw some physical competition. But leading up to it, I don't know if we saw the best competitors. I think they matched Sarah and Bananas like they were too strong compared to everybody else. I don't know.
But look what they got out of it. Greed.
Yeah, no, I mean this went
money,
crazy.
Everybody's got a price, and he met his, and I think $125,000, half of that was enough. I mean, that is life-changing money.
$275,000 he got. Yeah. It's just crazy. I mean, I understand what he is thinking. Like that's huge money for
it is, but
anybody.
I couldn't live with myself if I did that.
I couldn't either. I mean, but he just doesn't care.
No?
He does not care. I mean,
and that's I think what also keeps coming back because he brings the drama.
Yeah, in fact, I think he actually loves it. Because he was at the reunion wearing the rotten banana shirt. I mean, I think he's just like, yeah, this is who I am unapologetically.
He knows fans are going to be mad. He knows he's not going to be a likable person like he was previously.
The villain. Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes people are okay with that.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's going to also bring him back to the show because you need a villain in a show.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know. Do you think he'll do another one?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. He hasn't said anything about leaving anytime soon.
He said, like, I don't know how many I have left.
Right,
you know?
and I can see that, but I think I can see him coming back for another one. I think overall with this season, the only thing I didn't like was the drawing of the skulls, because I don't think it's fair that luck should depend on whether or not I go into an elimination. I feel like if you performed really bad, you deserve to go into an elimination.
100% agree. I think that was the flaw of this season, and I hope if you guys are watching, producers, you don't do this next season. The skulls just took away from a lot of the game, because that was a big problem, that if people had been able to throw in Vince and Jenna and Bananas and Sarah and make sure that they were actually going to have to compete, it would have been really interesting to see some of these people go home. And like the fact that they just kept being able to throw in the same people, Devin and Cheyenne just kept getting out of it for some random reason. They were just so lucky that like people like Wes and Nani had to keep going in and compete like 3-4 times in a row.
So do you think that Devin and Cheyenne deserved to be in the final?
I actually don't. I mean, I think they did a good job at the end finishing it. I was proud of them for that. But how could anybody say that they deserved to be there? They were literally sent home and came back for some random reason.
That's the thing that I don't like, is that they were sent home and they came back.
Yeah.
We didn't see another team come back after somebody going home.
No.
We didn't see anybody else come back.
Only one. And other than that, I would say, yeah, okay, they just were lucky. They won fair and square. But like Nani at the reunion was like, they won fair and square. They really didn't. Like everybody else didn't get a free pass to come back after losing an elimination and going home.
I can see that. On the other side, as a competitor, what can you do? If the game is to draw white skulls, those are the rules. The producers made up the game. What can you do about it? Say, no, sorry, I'm not going to play because I don't think this is fair. No, you got to play the game.
No,
and if it lies in your favor, then great. So then I hope to see that next season that they prove a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree that they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't cheat.
No,
it was just like the producers'
more
move that team happened to get to the end. I just would have rather seen maybe a team that was a bit more...
Like who?
Like Corey and Ashley. Like, I just think they were better competitors. I think it would have been much closer in the final.
I would have liked to see Wes and Cheyenne.
You mean Wes and Nani?
Yes.
I would have liked to see Wes and Nani. That's my number one. You're exactly right. Because I felt like they really deserved to stay in. The only reason they didn't was because of Nani's cousin having to go against her in the elimination. Nani couldn't even fight against her.
You know what's funny is that I had this conversation with my cousins who also are big fans of the show, and I was like, if it were you, like, I would have shoved you, and if it was against you, I would have shoved you. And it's just funny because that's how we are, and that's how we grow up, how we grew up. So in the end, I would have been like, hey, if either of us win, I'll write you a check or I'll buy you whatever, but that's just how, my family is.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny to have that conversation because I totally would have shoved my cousin. Now, do you think Vince and Jenna deserve to be in there? Because in the reunion, they were talking about Johnny carrying Vince through.
Well, 100% he carried him through.
Yep.
100%. Vince didn't deserve to be there. Jenna did, in my opinion. I think
I love Jenna. She's a great competitor.
Jenna's been, I think, in the last 3 finals? She's made it to the last 3 finals. She won the last one.
Yeah.
And I think she only didn't...
Her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, screwed her over there. But she would have been fine. I think she's a good competitor.
Yep.
And I think she totally deserved to be there. Vince didn't perform well, really, at all. Throughout the whole competition. But he had his cousin. Again, this is like what I'm saying. I think the producers need to think some of the stuff through. When there is a bloodline alliance, it makes it so hard for
It does, but I feel like that's what makes it exciting. That's what brings the drama, because then everything kicks, your morals, your values, your priorities and all that kicks in, and that's drama.
Yeah, but I would love if there was more drama. What I'm saying is if Bananas and Sarah won, it was like Vince and Jenna were just like, I can sit back and have some wine because, I know I'm not going in. And so it was just like it became every time Devin and Cheyenne and Wes and Nani for a period that was just like, okay, so what? You're just going to beat up the same, several teams over and over again because you put, Bananas and Sarah, this awesome team together. They literally were winning every challenge. So then Vince and Jenna never went in. It actually, for me, took away a lot of the drama. I would love if there was heated rivalries.
Yeah. Well,
now, oh my gosh.
No, I don't want to totally put down Vince. I do want to give him a little bit of credit as far as he does have the strength part of being in these challenges, and they may not be very smart, but I mean, they can still compete. And I feel like if Johnny wasn't there, he probably would not have made it that far.
Right.
But yeah, he at least can carry his own a little bit as far as them two together.
Yeah, I think he was like okay. I don't think that he deserved to just like have his ticket, written for the final. But I will say, I actually thought he competed pretty well in the actual final.
Yeah,
like
well,
they
except
had
for the
pretty good
cramping, but
endurance.
yeah.
And like he pounded his food.
Yeah.
And he didn't really kind of complain a lot.
No, he didn't, and that's what I would hate in a partner, someone who complains all the time. No, but I think what I agree in the reunion, what was said, is that I wish the rookies, or Are You the One cast members, would have had a little bit more balls to throw them in, because they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. Everyone was afraid of Bananas, and everybody was afraid of Vince because they had such high power.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have thrown them in to kind of separate them a little bit,
it's, Bananas and Vince together really got in people's heads, too. Because, like, Corey, I think if Corey had sided with Devin and them, and Dario, too, he weakened. Like, if people, had gone with their gut. But what happened is every time the other competitors knew the best move was to send them in, but then Vince and Bananas would get to them and, like, make them think that they were going to protect them or whatever. And of course they weren't. They were only looking out for themselves. So
out of the challenge final, which task would have been hard for you?
that eating. I mean, the rest of it to me actually was pretty tame. I thought. I didn't think there was anything that crazy. I love to run, so that wouldn't
You
have...
do?
Yeah, that
Oh
wouldn't
my
have
gosh, you're
intimidated
crazy.
me. Yeah, I mean, I run a lot, so that to me, I would have enjoyed that. It actually looked gorgeous. I will say the climbing of the mountain, actual mountain, looked pretty steep, though, and pretty far. I mean, they said 14,000 feet.
Ugh.
I wonder how, how long that took them to do that last leg of things.
That's what I kind of wish about the finale, is that I wish it was 2 hours so that we can see more of the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to agree with that eating.
That cow tongue or whatever.
That's where I had to look away from the TV watching it because I was about to puke.
How does Bananas do that to Sarah? Like, she sat there and ate that tongue. Like,
I would go back for revenge.
do you
if
know
I was
what I
Sarah.
would have done, Paulina, if I were Bananas? I would have said, all right, give me the check number of, like, how much you kept me from winning at that one competition, right? Like what was that amount? I'd be like, I'm going to subtract that from it, but then I'll give you the rest. Just do something. Give her something. Like,
That's what Nani said in the reunion. Is there
Yeah.
anything that he can do? Write her a check?
yeah. But just to leave her empty-handed, it just felt so
And
wrong.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that feels to have something like that be taken away from you after working so hard.
Yeah.
You make plans for when you're going to get home. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Now she has to think of a totally different plan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm married too, and to take that amount of time away from my husband and stuff, like, that's like a huge sacrifice. And she just got married. Like, I don't know. I think it was pretty dirty. I don't know, but I'll tell you who I'm excited to see next season is Devin.
Oh, I love him.
I went into this like hating him,
And now
finding
you love
him
him.
really annoying, and now I really like him.
I like the kind of partner that he was to Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne isn't the strongest. She doesn't like these kinds of things. So for him to have so much patience and to be okay with third place, or to be okay with however time it took to get to finish it,
Yeah.
takes a lot, because I would have been yelling and
Yeah.
screaming and pushing you up that hill.
Yeah, I mean, he had her back the entire time.
Yes.
And, like, when they were picking on her, he had her back. And, like, they started as rivals, but I feel like they must be great friends now. Like,
they have to be.
He was a really good guy. And you know what? He set the tone. We were kind of talking about this at the end when he was the first one who had to make the decision, split or take it all.
Oh, he almost had me. I was like, oh no, he did it.
Yeah, but, like, I think he set the tone. I think Vince very likely If
would have
Devin
taken it
had
all.
taken all the money, I think Vince would have taken all the
You
money.
think so?
I do, because I think Vince is very impressionable.
I see Vince and Johnny as two very different people. Like I'm
hope you're
surprised that
right.
they're
I mean,
related.
I just feel like-
I don't get that vibe from Vince as I do with Johnny.
Yeah.
I really don't. So I think either way Vince would have split that money.
Yeah.
I wish one of the ladies had the control. At least one of them. At least maybe Jenna.
I so wanted Sarah to have it. I really
Oh, yeah.
thought, I was shocked that she didn't, because she was in the lead, and but she definitely lost the food eating, and then she must have lost the stump, and then that was it.
I just want to rewatch Cheyenne talking about how she wants to take a poop and
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
just dig a hole.
Everybody agrees that Devin, we all grew to like him. And
I loved him from the beginning.
Sharwin is saying he was a miniature Wes. I think that's really accurate.
He plays the game really smart.
Were you surprised on the reunion? So we were just watching the reunion together. Wes said that he thinks Bananas was totally right.
Yeah, I did.
I thought that Wes would use this opportunity to be like, see, you're exactly what I've always thought you are.
And he was right, though. Because Bananas did show up and is the scumbag that he was trying to tell everybody.
no, I
and
mean,
everybody saw
I
for
know,
himself.
but
Yeah.
why is Wes being like, I agree?
You think Wes would have taken all the money from...
Well, Wes was saying, anybody that didn't do it was a fool. And that he thought that of all people that were validated in doing it, Bananas was right too, because of what Sarah had done. I mean, I was surprised that Wes did that. I thought that Wes would be like, no, he's such a jerk. Like, here he is, case in point.
Oh my God. I would never want to be put in that situation, though. That's just devastating.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody keeps saying this, like, let's be real, most of us would have taken the money.
No.
I just wouldn't have. You competed for weeks and weeks and weeks with somebody and literally gotten there 100% 50-50, if not more, Sarah.
Yeah.
So I
that's what Devin was
really
saying as
wouldn't
well.
have done it. I don't
man.
know. Cray.
So,
Cray.
out of, let's see, overall of this whole season, did you like it? What did you enjoy the most?
So I think by far my favorite was this finale. This was an awesome finale. I loved seeing the scenery. I loved the competitions. I thought it was kind of exciting to watch. I didn't kind of know who was going to win until the last second we saw the flag. And then, I mean, listen, great TV with this banana stunt. I mean, shocking and wow. I didn't know he could be such a jerk, but like...
I was on the fence of like, oh, okay, he's a jerk. He's done some crappy things, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. After this, there you go.
But
Sorry, Johnny.
I knew it. But other than this, overall, did I love it? I hope that next season they get rid of the skulls, because as we were
Yes.
talking about, I think it just weakens
Well,
the
next
game.
season could be an individual challenge. I don't know if it's going to be partners again.
I think they usually partner them up, though, don't they?
Sometimes. They've
Yeah.
been doing it for the past few seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I like the partners. I
Who
think
do
it
you
makes
want to
it
see
interesting.
back and who don't you want to see back?
Definitely want to see Devin and Cheyenne. I actually really grew to like them both. I think they're really cute. But maybe separate with different people.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun if they did like crushes or something. Like, I'd love to see like Corey compete with Cheyenne. And
with people that like each other? Yeah, that would
like,
probably make them dislike each other.
Exactly. Or like Ashley with Cara
Their cousin?
Maria's
Yeah,
cousin. And then like...
That's a good one. That's a good pitch.
Nate with Nicole.
Yeah, I
there
hear
could
ya.
be some like
I want to
fun.
know what happened with that. They didn't say in the reunion. They dated for 6 months. First 4 were gray, and the last 2.
I think he cheated. Wasn't that the impression you got?
That's the first thing that every girl thinks. Let's be real. So yeah, it is what I thought.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that I got. But I don't know. It didn't. He's not a bad guy at the end of the day, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, then what did he do?
Oh, did she say that? I thought she said he is a bad guy.
well,
I
then
thought she was
maybe I
saying
didn't
he's
hear
like
right.
totally a bad guy. And she was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but like, we know what happened. It was a bad breakup. And like, so I thought what happened is either he like cheated on her or he did something else really dirty. Like,
And it was long distance, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And then we saw Zach and Jenna.
yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
you
I
are-
would love to see them coupled up. That
think they would?
I would love to see
Another
another
Exes?
Exes / like crushes or something.
Oh man, if any of you guys at home have any idea on the scoop on what the next season will be, don't forget to tweet us or let us know what season you would like to see. Another Exes, another Rivals, another individual, whatever you guys want. So don't forget to tweet us about that.
Yeah. What's your overall impression of the season?
As long as we don't have skulls anymore, I love it. I
Yeah.
want to see Laurel back, actually. I love her as a competitor. I want to see Teresa back. I miss the old school
love the old
Rivals.
school. I don't think they're
love
gonna
the
bring
old
them
school.
back.
No, they're not. You know, people have lives to live.
Paulina's
and
got
move
her like
on.
wishful thinking.
They do. But I think we're going to see a lot more Are You the One
That's what I
people
think we're gonna see too.
on this show,
Yeah.
which people are still on the fence about.
Yeah, some of them turned out to be interesting.
Yeah. Cheyenne, I'm pretty sure you are a great person, but I want to see more fighters on the show. I want Leroy back, and I want Leroy to win.
Leroy back. I would love to see Leroy win.
He's kind of like Sarah, where they just get crappy situations,
They get
the worst
screwed
luck,
over and over and over.
But they eventually win, and they will overcome that. So Leroy, I'm rooting for you.
I'd love to see like Leroy with like Jenna. Like I feel like that'd be a really good team. He needs a good teammate because when he got partnered up with like his cousin or whatever, she was sweet, but
really
she was
bad.
a terrible competitor. This season, what was it? His knee again? What happened where he was sent home?
He had an accident, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he
hurt.
had an
He got
accident.
hurt.
He actually had a pretty good partner. It was Johnny's ex. I can't think of her name. Not Johnny Bananas. The Johnny that was partnered with.
Oh, yes. April. Her name starts with an A, and I know your fans know what it is, and I can't think of it. It's at the tip of my tongue. I know you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man, what an exciting season! I was so glad to review it with you, Angela, and with you guys at home. So, Angela, tell everybody not only where they can find you, but what's going to be your next show here at AfterBuzz.
So right now I'm doing Real Housewives of Melbourne.
Of what? Of who?
On Melbourne in Australia. Aussie. So you can catch that on Sundays. And I'm also doing Below Deck once the new season starts back up.
Ooh, I love that show.
But I'm Angela Struck, and you can follow me on Twitter at the Angela Struck or on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck. Been so much fun, you guys.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys can find me this fall on E's Total Divas here at AfterBuzz TV.
Ooh,
oh yeah, it's
love
getting
that
pretty
show.
juicy. They've got a spinoff too. Thank you for joining us this whole season. I'm Paulina Aguilar, and you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M Aguilar. It's been a blast, and we hope to see you guys next season.
Bye guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.